Hello everyone, how you doing? And welcome back to another video. Another video in which we speak about a very special man. A special man that we all know as Onision. Because Onision is a man on this website that continues just to mystify me and overall confuse me. I recently criticised Onision for his accusations towards PewDiePie and Shane Dawson, where he basically claimed that both of them are pedophiles, when obviously they're both not. I don't think we need any explanation for that right now, that Onision is completely bullshitting here. He made plenty of posts about them both on Twitter, plenty of videos on YouTube, in which he just completely outright lied and slandered both of them. And after this, he was pretty much hounded by the entire community, and so he was forced to release this statement.
But she did suggest that I apologize in general, and in that, I respect and appreciate what she said. Because there are people that I do need to apologize to, most of whom I've already apologized for. Real quick, let's run through the list. First of all, Billy, I'm sorry that I publicly humiliated you. We went through repeated bad breakups, and I always told the truth. But the problem is sometimes people don't need to know the truth. And I went above and beyond to try and use the truth against you to make you feel small, to make you feel embarrassed, and that was disgraceful on my part. Moving on, Shane Dawson, if I'm wrong about you, I'm sorry. If I'm right about you, I don't know. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. And I should accept.
And now at first, I did criticise this apology because in all fairness, this apology was pretty wank. But I did say also in the video that I was willing to give Onision a chance. I do not forgive Onision, but I will possibly forgive him in a year's time if he goes a whole year with positive actions and positive movements and no false negativity and no... And you know, that video was uploaded on the 9th of June 2018 and it's been around a month and a half since then. So the question is, has Onision made an effort to change? Has he been putting out positive and fantastic content? Well, let's go take a look. I want teenagers to hate me. The problem with the transgender community. A message for fat people. So it's clear that he's still a complete fucking moron and he's made no effort to change his persona whatsoever. He's still that idiotic person that needs to be the centre of controversy, but you know, at least he's not accusing people of being paedophiles, right? Well, actually, we're wrong there as well, because Onision is still pushing the narrative that certain people, yes, certain people on YouTube are paedophiles. Yes, as Onision's relevance started to decline over a month's period of time, he basically decided to go straight back out and attack Shane Dawson. And before we go into any of this, I just have a question for Onision personally. Why would you attack somebody for something you're so dead set on and then apologise for it and then attack them for the exact same thing? Because to me personally, it makes no sense. It makes you look fake and it makes you look extremely contradictory. If you're gonna bullshit about something and then get forced to apologise and then go straight out and bullshit again, don't use the exact same bullshit you were using beforehand, because it just makes you look like a complete and utter dickhead. And I'm pretty sure at this point the entire community already knows you're that, but just Give yourself some space, man. Give yourself some chance to breathe, because it's only been a month since you've last said some utter fucking bullshit and you're already at it again. There's such a polarisation of beliefs here. One minute he's pushing a narrative and then the next minute he's apologising for it and then the next minute he's pushing the narrative again. What am I meant to believe on you, man? Just let me know, because I'm not sure at this point. And this whole situation basically kicked off again from Onision's Twitter account, so I'm pretty much just going to have to read you guys a nice little bedtime story. So he basically posted emails between him and Shane Dawson, and to me personally, this looks like borderline harassment, but you know, we're going to take a look at the emails and we're going to break them down. So it all started when Onision sent this email to Shane Dawson. Why did you describe a girl under 10 as sexy repeatedly in a serious tone and use the defense that you promoted her as if that justified it? Now, this is a point that Onision consistently uses in his exposed videos of Shane Dawson, and they've pretty much become redundant because everyone should know right now that in Shane Dawson's past, he used to make inappropriate jokes about people. He basically just used to do this to shock people because it used to make him laugh. And you don't necessarily need to do much research or just be a fan of Shane Dawson to know that. You just need to do a tiny bit of research, or maybe just watch one Shane Dawson video where he explains it.
I used to make really shitty fucking jokes. I am sorry that I was so fucking like insecure and like playing this character, this guy who's like crazy and will say anything and like tries to make people laugh by shocking them. That was my thing. That was what I did on YouTube.
Now, regardless of what you all specifically think about these jokes, we've all made inappropriate jokes here and there in our life, so I think it's completely inappropriate to jeopardize somebody's career over some certain moments. Just a tiny little moment of where he went a little bit too far in some people's books. I feel like if you're going to ruin someone's career over that, that's a bit petty, it's a bit pathetic. You could quite easily cut up some of my videos and paint me out to be some terrible, terrible human. You could quite possibly cut out this video and make it look like I'm trying to expose Shane Dawson, because these things happen on YouTube. It happens everywhere. And then Shane simply responds with, "Dude, I'm not a paedophile, leave me alone." And you know, it's a pretty standard response to something what Onision is saying. Personally, I would have threatened legal action, but we'll get into that in the future. And then Onision then responded with this: "Then why did you describe that young girl as sexy in a serious voice and only use the defense as you having promoted her, as if that made it okay? No one who is not a paedophile does that." Now again, he is using the exact point he used before, and I just have to reiterate my statement. It was an inappropriate joke in a lot of other people's books. It was just a joke, and you need to consider that, Onision. You can't consider somebody to be a paedophile over a simple out of context joke, and you're taking it more and more out of context, because I'm worried that Onision is genuinely convincing himself that his old friend Shane is a paedophile. I think he genuinely has put it in his mind and made himself think that Shane Dawson is this evil person. So it does get a bit more serious after this, after Shane Dawson responds with this email: "I'm not a paedophile, leave me alone, this is your last warning, man. I've been so calm about you harassing me, but there's only so much I can take. Between the videos, tweets and emails, I can take legal action. I don't want to, because I don't want to affect Lainey and the children. I don't want drama, please leave me alone and stop emailing me. I know all you want is content for your videos, and that's what this is all about. You know I'm not a fucking paedophile, that's insane." I just want to say before we go into anything, it just feels so good to be right. I have pretty much been saying for months now that Onision could possibly be sued by Shane Dawson, and now we've seen it, we've seen the proof that Shane Dawson is genuinely considering legal action against Onision for slander, and it feels so good to be right. There's been pretty much an ongoing meme on this channel lately with the word slander, but pretty much there we have it. We finally have evidence that this is an actual thing. And it's all come from basically Onision constantly harassing Shane Dawson for not being friends with him anymore. That's pretty much where it's all come from. He's made tens or maybe even hundreds of videos on Shane, attacking him and criticizing him for bullshit reasons. And it's all led to a possibility of a lawsuit. And from a statement I'm now about to show you guys, this statement that Onision makes pretty much can get him sued anyway, regardless of all the other videos he's made. This statement alone is just fucking disgusting.
But about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to Lainey, and you could talk to Lainey yourself and confirm this, but I was saying, you know, I think, I don't know what it is, but Shane has always had a weird relationship with children in the past. I've always been a little... there's nothing that sticks out, but it's just like a feeling you get.
Now that is a clip I have used quite a lot in my previous video because it's something that genuinely does stick out and gives a generalization of Onision and his character. It shows his willingness to go out and basically destroy his rivals' careers with outright lies and pretty much bullshit, which kind of just defines slander. And it's clear that Shane Dawson has had enough of this whole situation, and he has clearly seen everything going on, and the only reason he hasn't sued Onision is because he doesn't want to affect his family's lives. So despite all these accusations, despite everything there, he's still being nice to Onision. I commend Shane for this action, but I don't necessarily agree with it. I feel like he should take legal action against Onision because some of Onision's remaining fans, yes, apparently they're a thing, will see these things that Onision is saying and they may believe it and they may go and tell their friends and family all this information that Onision is giving them, and it could become more widespread and more people could believe that Shane Dawson is a paedophile despite obviously not being one. Misspread false information can be something that is quite minor at a time, but given a slow process, it can gradually become bigger and damage somebody's reputation. And now going back to the emails, Onision continues to say the exact same things pretty much, and Shane eventually opens up and explains why he said the joke like he already has explained to his fans. "I was clearly kidding, Greg. You fucking know that. Why the fuck would I think a little kid is sexy? That's fucking stupid and gross, and I'm sick of hearing about this shit. So move on to your next drama, because this one is just ridiculous and tired." And after all of this, despite the explanation, Onision continues to push the narrative, and he then goes and uses the allegations that Pop Blast made against Shane Dawson. And you know, when somebody does that, they've just lost all credibility whatsoever. And if you're not sure what the Pop Blast allegations are somehow, it's basically a situation at the starting of this year where a YouTube channel basically took controversial jokes out of context from Shane Dawson and used them against him to pretty much accuse him of being a pedophile. And it was all eventually proven to be false, but Onision has pretty much used these allegations to force his charge against Shane Dawson. And he even continues to lie about something else in the emails, in which he says that he doesn't do this for views because his Shane Dawson videos apparently don't do well on his channel. And now that is complete bullshit, because when you go to Onision's channels, you can see that he has million view videos about Shane Dawson, which are all monetized and making money. Shane Dawson, my ex-friend, has 1.1 million views. Shane Dawson's Wait, a disgusting fucking video made by Onision, has 370,000 views. PewDiePie vs Shane Dawson also has over 600,000 views, and these videos are all only on one channel of Onision's, his Onision Speaks channel. If you were basically to combine Onision's channels with all the Shane Dawson videos he's most likely made quite a lot of money. And I would genuinely prefer that massive YouTubers do not respond to Onision publicly unless it's a lawsuit, because that's all he wants. He's pretty much the flea on YouTube's back, and there is only one way you can necessarily get rid of him, and that pretty much is a lawsuit for slander. And I know you can't sue a flea, but it's an analogy. And I know a lot of people will complain about censorship of freedom of speech, but in my eyes, it's a violation of your freedom of speech to falsely accuse somebody of being a paedophile. Because yes, he can actually say that given he has freedom to say anything he wants, but there obviously are going to be consequences if you're going to lie about something that serious. Anyone has the right and will to demonstrate their human rights, but if you're going to pretty much display them rights in a deceptive or manipulative manner, there's obviously going to be consequences of your own actions, and Onision should really be preparing for this, because he's been doing it for far too fucking long. And I'm genuinely surprised that nobody has sued Onision up to this point, because of all the shit that he has done in his past is pretty fucking mental. And it's also ironic because in 2016 he jokingly threatened to sue people for harassment, and now look where we are. It's completely fucking turned on him. But after all of this, after Onision posted these private emails and private conversations between him and Shane, he had the audacity to complain that if he was sued, it would negatively affect his family. You should have thought about that before you said this.
Have Shane Dawson sit next to me and take a lie detector test as well. I'd love to see that bitch sweat. Because I personally know that Shane is a creep. I know he's a creep. On a core level, I know he's a creep. I've seen his history of how he acts with children, how close he gets to children all the time, how uncomfortable it is consistently. Like, I don't know how other people don't see it, but they're teenage girls, so of course they think it's fine. This guy loves relating with teenage girls.
If you're genuinely worried about the state of your family and the future of your family, Onision, you maybe should be less of a bellend on the internet. Actually, no, it's not even that. You can continue being a bellend all you want. You just don't need to falsely accuse people of being paedophiles, especially when you have an actual past of raping children.
Well, this girl's like 8 out of 10. Yeah, solid 8.
But Greg, what if she's 15 years old?
Well, last time I checked, we're allowed to have opinions about people.
But you know, it's fine, because he justified that with this statement.
We're referencing a video where Shane Dawson was talking about a girl who's less than half the age of any girl I've ever put in my videos regarding rating.
You know, the funny thing is about this whole situation is that the creepiest thing that has been said, which wasn't a joke, actually came from Onision himself and not Shane Dawson. But before we conclude anything today, I want to talk about the possibility of if Onision can actually be sued for falsely accusing somebody of being a paedophile. Well, I asked you for a second just to quickly go take a look at Elon Musk. The entrepreneur, scientist, whatever you want to call him, has recently been under fire from pretty much everyone after he falsely accused somebody of being a paedophile. And regardless of what you think of Elon, regardless if you think if he's a genius or a fantastic person, it's a terrible thing to do, and the victim of this is considering suing somebody as high of a stature of Elon Musk. A billionaire is being taken on by pretty much just a regular bloke. And even in 2014, a blogger sued somebody for false paedophile allegations. And then I went onto an attorney's website where somebody had asked the question of, can you sue somebody for false paedophile allegations? And an attorney said on there, if somebody has used it to damage somebody's reputation, then yes, you actually do have a claim. So I feel like right now, Onision is most likely shitting himself because he has pretty much just dropped himself in a fuckload of trouble. And putting the whole guilt trip of your family possibly being affected, Greg, I don't think that's going to work here. You probably should have thought about that before you went through an entire year of slander of massive YouTubers. In conclusion, I do not like censorship. I'm a big advocate of freedom of speech, but I feel like Onision has pretty much violated his rights in lying about somebody and slandering someone in order to destroy their career and reputation and overall life. I gave Onision one chance to change, one whole year I gave him, and in 1 month, he broke that. It's that easy for this man to be that much of a prick. Now that is the end of the video, thank God. I'm pretty much sweating out right now, so I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on this situation. If you want to let me know your thoughts in the comments or at twitter.com/inabbertv or even at Instagram, you can do so. All links are in the description. It's a pretty much fucked situation. And if you want to go support me on Patreon, all Patreon links are in the description. And saying that, it is time to thank my Patreons. Big thanks to Anochi, Charmskull, Lily, Leslie, Cubes Mary, Bugabadger, Dora, Amy, Ghost, Devon, Michelle, Speedbird, Mel, Uncle Tids, Dinky Dino, Sophie, Aurelie, Anna, Tristan, Lou, Henry, Cyber Rochelle, Maya, Zombie Sales, Crewbuster, Rob, 05, Majestic, Roxanne, Nicole. Thank you so much for being to the Patreon. It genuinely does mean the world. As I said before, let me know your thoughts below. And that is the end of the video. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'm going to have a shower because I'm fucking sweating out. See you in the next one. Peace.